me begin by publicly recognizing the Herculean contribution of the Director and staff of the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, not only for their selfless efforts to ensure the successful completion of the very demanding verification audit by CANTA, which preceded our accreditation, but also for pioneering the conceptualization and development of the following standards: banking operations, level 1, heavy equipment maintenance and repair, level 1, automotive, electrical, electronics maintenance and repairs, level 1. These standards have since been adopted by CANTA and are now being utilized as regional occupational standards, not only in the manufacturing, engineering, and construction sectors, but also in the services sectors as well, in terms of banking, which sector, as you know, is increasing its importance in the region. It has been established that internationally that there is some historical stigma associated with tech work education and training. And this stigma continues. The feeling is, and the decisions and implementation mechanisms have been put in place to deal with it, has suggested and ensured that the empowerment phenomena be addressed alongside the actual training itself, in that this attribute has therefore been used to ensure that by the end of all these programs, there is employment opportunities and people are empowered. It would be remiss of me if I do not recognize the immense challenge that we face in Guyana in creating and fostering an environment that would allow us to increase our appreciation of the importance of technical and vocational education and training as a vital ingredient in the increased productivity and, by extension, our international competitiveness. And concomitantly, increase economic development of our country as a whole. For this reason, as implied in our TVET's vision and mission, we are here to provide education for employment. And in so doing, our mission, in an abridged format, refers to conceptualization, coordination, and delivery of modular competency-based education and training in order to create and sustain a workforce that is accredited to be internationally competitive. We have long recognized that there exist significant gaps between the occupational skills demand for both our private and public sector and occupational skills being supplied by the formal and non-formal training institutions. This phenomenon is occasioned, obviously, by factors such as migration, poaching, new technology, and more recently, the needs of the newer sectors, and now referred to oil and gas and clean energy and so on. In this context, TVET had in fact launched some labor market intelligence surveys through collaboration with the Ministry of Social, well, now the Ministry of Social Protection, then Labor with the IDB. Another one with the Canadian Education for Employment Project for the mining sector. The main objective of these, obviously, apart from determination of the skill needs for the various subsectors, was to inventorize potential supply sources with respect to facilities and facilitators, particularly within those private sector companies who have been engaged in implant training over the years. There has also been improved collaboration and effective coordination among the formal and non-formal training institutions in order to reduce that level of duplication.
Members of the Council for TVET, principals and administrators, representatives of the Republic Bank, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to join with the chairman in extending a heartfelt welcome to you to this handing over ceremony of the CVQ certificates to the principals of the Government Technical Institute and the Essequibo Technical Institute, as well as the administrators of the Guyana Industrial Training Center, the Maikoni Technical and Vocational Training Center, and the manager of the Republic Bank Training and Development Center. The post-secondary institutions and the Republic Bank have satisfied the quality assurance criteria and guidelines, and their students stroke trainees were assessed and verified as being competent in the various occupational areas in which they were trained. They are therefore being rewarded with the appropriate Caribbean vocational qualification certificates. Consequently, the number of certificates that is being awarded to the students stroke trainees of each post-secondary institution and the Republic Bank Training and Development Center is as follows. Government Technical Institute, 196. The Essequibo Technical Institute, 38. The Guyana Industrial Training Center, 53. The Maikoni Technical and Vocational Training Center, 78. And the Republic Bank Training and Development Center, 31. Permit me to express my heartfelt congratulations to you.
Today's exercise is what I may describe as an unusual exercise, but at the same time, a necessary exercise. It's unusual because here we are witnessing the council handing over to institutions certificates, which certificates will eventually have to be handed over to the students. That's unusual. The usual activity would be for the students simply at their graduation or sometime thereafter to receive their certificates. But having said it's unusual, I'm saying it's necessary. It's necessary because this is a landmark occasion. It's a historical occasion. It's an occasion that needs to be placed in the public domain. It is the first time in the history of our country that we are awarding these certificates. It's the first time in the life of the Council that they are granting such certification. And in the context of technical education, which is often stigmatized, there is the need for us to put into the public domain this moment and this activity so that our citizens at large and our potential students in particular could feel the gravity of this moment and have this moment help us to reduce the kind of stigmatization unjustifiably associated with technical and vocational education. And there is much to be done in this regard. TVET is the way forward. I'm not knocking academics here, but the bulk of the manpower required to take a country forward is in technical and the vocational area. That's where the bulk is required. That's where production takes place. That's where the economy will find the human resource for growth. And so it's important that we come to recognize the business of technical and vocational education. And today's activity should be seen as a moment in the process of educating the population at large about the importance of technical and vocational education and about the fact that it is not a second chance. It is just a matter of people having the aptitude to get involved in something that is as important as anything else in terms of education and in terms of human resource development. And I dare say that even today, as they stigmatize technical and vocational education, when one looks around carefully at what wages and salaries they are demanding, one can come to recognize the value of technical and vocational education. They have the means of earning far more than the white-collar guys. Far more can be earned, and is being earned even by those who don't have CVQs today in our country. And so this should be a wake-up call for all of us in relation to how we treat technical and vocational education, both from the standpoint of accessing it and from the standpoint of recognizing the role it plays in a country's development. And so this moment, though unusual, is a necessary moment. Our CVQs are being offered using a new approach, a new methodology, competency-based approach. The two are not synonymous, but that's the approach we're using. And so in a sense, what we're doing is revolutionizing the education system, moving away from an academic approach to education to a more competency-oriented approach to education, thus guaranteeing that the knowledge which is acquired can be applied by those who acquire it. Because ever so often in the academic arena, people are acquiring knowledge, but not necessarily competency. And they are unable to translate the knowledge they have into some competency. They're unable to apply it, and therefore they end up being knowledgeable, but not necessarily productive. And what competency-based education ensures is that we are producing the manpower that will in fact be capable of delivering the goods and delivering the services. And it poses the question of to what level will we take competency-based education? That's a lingering question. To what extent will we integrate it? Probably at the higher level, tertiary level, so that whilst we maintain an academic input, we also have a competency input, which ensures that our graduates are not only knowledgeable, but are competent, particularly in the areas of science and technology. And this approach, in the context of the Caribbean qualification framework, provides for harmonization of skills across the region. It provides for our skills, our institutions being quality assured, and thus guaranteeing that which we are doing. A quality assurance framework gives you a guarantee that we may not hitherto have had. And it allows for harmonization not only in Guyana, but across the region, and therefore for the realization of the dream of the Caribbean community, a movement of skills across the region without any question about standards, without any question about the relevance, without any question about the acceptability. It's moving us in the direction of really being one community. It poses other questions that we will have to answer in the process. Early on, the reference was made to how do we fund technical and vocational education. And it poses that question, because if skills are going to be in and out, then we have to ask the question of who's funding these skills. I would therefore like once again to take the opportunity to congratulate the Council, to congratulate the institutions for bringing us thus far, to shout out to those who are out there to get on board, both in terms of their understanding and respect for technical and vocational education, and for them entering into the arena. There are many institutions not yet there. I would like to extend specific congratulations to Republic Bank for the recognition of what we're doing. And hopefully many other private institutions will come to recognize that this is where they too belong. This is not just about the public institutions. It's about the development of all of Guyana's technical and vocational manpower. And so whether you're private, whether you're public, here is where you belong. If you get on board, then you'll find a place, not only in Guyana, but a place in the world. That's what technical and vocational education, through our approach of the Caribbean qualifications and through our methodology of competency-based education is doing for us. We're on the road. Let's stay on the road. Thank you.